We should be live right now. All right. Scott and I here on Wednesday at
Hey,
7 o'clock, just like clockwork.
Merry Christmas to anybody who happens to be out there, or Happy
Yeah.
Hanukkah, or whatever you're celebrating. Happy holidays. Uh,
Yeah.
I know
Got
Ellis
some
does not really celebrate anything, do you, Ellis?
in terms of yeah,
Like
I'm
you didn't put
happy.
up.
I'm happy. I'm happy for I don't have any decorations up or anything like that. I would if I had money, I might go a little bit nuts. Who knows? I would,
Okay,
as a matter of fact, I think I probably would
yeah,
be in the elaborate celebration mode if I had lots of money. I would be a guy who put up all kinds of It would be what's the Griswolds or whatever that burn
yeah.
out, have their fuses blown. Yeah, that'd be me.
Okay. I wouldn't have thought that.
Oh yeah, sure. Why not?
I don't know why. Well, I don't. You're in a unique position, life wise. You know, I mean, you don't have any family. You
It's
live
called
alone.
near death. What are you talking about? Everybody, there's a lot of people in my generation that are there, and I'm bringing up the tail end of it, so I'm in better shape than most of them. The boomers, everybody makes fun of them,
You,
and I don't blame. I,
how
wa-
did
I was
you?
I was pretty hard on the boomers myself because when you talk about boomers, what I think of is that we fed exactly where we're here now. We were a huge force, and we were a force that ultimately was negative in this country. So, what can you say?
Really?
Oh
That?
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, what kids stupid enough to think communism is good? That means that we failed.
Oh, fail. Okay. Okay. I get what you're saying. You
No,
failed.
no, no. I mean, just based on not fighting on the grounds of public education, just went straight to hell and railroaded us all into all sorts of politically correct thinking. It's like no, no. The fights were all lost, and for that matter, when you think about it, it's all the fights were started by my generation. To be anti-American. So the destruction of this country is on their shoulders. They went after it with a passion. They
You're all
managed.
in until you go to the they on their shoulders.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. You're right. No, my shoulders. It's on my shoulders. No, no,
There you go.
absolutely, absolutely. My passive aggressive ways uh, were the reason there was no fight in me. So even though
That's just
I was surly about it every step of the way,
okay. That's
I didn't do anything about it.
okay.
Merry
Okay.
Christmas.
Man, what a way to start the show off. Jiminy
Well,
Christmas.
you stay on Twitter half a
Ah,
day. You're going to be
I did
uh,
what? Have
if I stay on Twitter half a day, I'm going to be negative,
oh,
I
that's your
guess.
problem.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
Well,
if I wanted,
I usually don't get on it until 6 o'clock.
I don't see how you put up with Twitter at all. But hey,
It is hard. It is hard, but it's how I get my news. I can't stand to watch CNN for two seconds running. You know,
well, I don't know. You know, if that's the case, I don't get news. I mean, you know the I don't care. Maybe I'm worse than you are because
well,
I don't
uh,
I could get Twitter. So so I was late, not really late but I was a little late to your feed because my wife the other day asked me out of the blue, "How come we don't have Disney Plus?" Well, we don't have Disney Plus because my wife doesn't like to watch movies, and I didn't think it would be something she would ever be interested in. So I so we didn't get it. I never pursued it, and so I looked at it, and so we now are subscribed to Disney Plus. I did that when I came home today. I said, "Hey, Merry Christmas."
Their strategy of having just a couple of big shows that you got to
That's
have
not
their service, you know.
that's not what got me over the top because I figure I'll see them eventually, one way or the other.
Yeah.
What got me over the top was all those animated movies from all the years that they have on there. I've got a lot of newer ones, but I don't have all of them. It's like, man, I'd like to, that's some good quality stuff
Yeah.
that I'd like to see. And
Well,
Michelle is home. She's been working for all this time. I figure if I can, if she'll and I mean, I may go buy. She doesn't have a smart TV in her office, but I may go buy a smart TV so she can watch. If she wants to watch, have Mickey Mouse cartoons from 50 years or whatever running in the background while she's working.
hmm
So if it keeps her happy, so be. You know, she
oh yeah.
watches. She keeps the TV on. And it's a constant stream of uh, uh, court TV kind of shows, and it's like this cannot be good for you to watch this much of paternity TV and divorce TV and
Well, I'm with her on
Elvin Jack.
on watching that kind of entertainment as a background noise. I used to have Judge Wapner on the radio because I would get a one TV feed on my radio uh, when I was
Oh
working
yeah, yeah.
on North Island,
I had
and I'd listen to Wapner, and that was so entertaining. You didn't need the visuals. It was pretty amazing how well that worked. You could,
well, that's kind of what Michelle's at, but it's like this has gone on too long,
yeah.
So this is part of an intervention, and if she likes the and and plus both of us are home this weekend. We got 2 holiday weekends coming up. I told you I'm building a model plane, or we are building a model plane. Um, the
Mustang.
A Mustang, P-51 Mustang, and man, there's some guys on YouTube that build model planes that are the bomb, just freaking amazing. And I told Michelle I want to build one like that. So she said, "Okay." So I may drive her crazy on the Mustang.
How big will it be from one end of the
Mm,
propeller to the other?
Probably about this big, over a foot.
Over a foot. Oh,
Yeah,
well, a
it's
foot. Okay.
138. So you know,
It was a good. Oh, look at the thing on the back of there. Jeez. I got to get some more paper out. I didn't realize front and back were ruined.
oh, bled through, dude.
Yeah.
Better than bleeding out.
There we go.
Anyway,
Yep.
so tomorrow I'm off work. We got kind of a long weekend coming up. There's I'm not working on anything. In fact, I spent the other day like cleaning up in the library. I had this idea, this library at my house. It was in my house for our listeners. Of course, Ellis has been over, but for our listeners, I have a room in our house that we refer to as the library because it has large bookshelves. It's a formal dining room that we don't use, and so we refer to it as the library. And I have library two big, or I'm sorry, a wall of big bookshelves. There are lots of books, and I'll sit there and read or whatever. Michelle was telling me the other day, we need to get some new chairs in there. Well, I decided I want some big. I haven't bought them yet, but I decided I want some big, nice leather chair, like something you'd find something you'd sit in and smoke cigars and drink
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Which I won't do either one of those, but I want a real, for lack of a better word, masculine looking room. I told Michelle because she was trying to find something, and I said, you know what? This. You never come in this room. This is my room. let me do what I want to do in there, because she's like, well, I don't want anything leather, and I'm like, you know what, just let me do it, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's going. I'm just gonna do it up like a I don't know, like some kind of British one of those clubs where they sit around and smoke
Mm-hmm.
cigars and play gin rummy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Well, I mean, I think that's a great idea, but I'm just struck by, the footprint of the place isn't huge.
no, no,
So
no,
I don't,
no,
it's like,
no,
I don't know if you've got enough room to really get a whole lot of, in it other than the books and a nice place to sit down, I mean,
no, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just replacing the two chairs that are in there with nice leather chairs.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, no, 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 I'm not adding a pool table or anything. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah, I
huge room.
will. No, I mean,
Yeah,
and plus, another part of your footprint problem is you've got a big table right in the big middle of it, right?
big coffee table. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man, there's a huge amount of things you're stepping around. So, I mean, that to make something like that, you just it takes square footage
Well,
to
yeah,
to,
okay.
to
I'm
do a
not.
lot.
Yeah, I'm not going crazy with it. I'm just replacing the chairs I have with
Yeah.
nice leather chairs.
So you got a book there that's got some cool fashion you're
Okay,
copying for the sake of
so this is
preppy handbook. Cool.
the official preppy handbook. Get it right, Ellis.
Okay.
Is this official preppy handbook? Which, if you didn't live through the '80s, you may never heard of this. But it's a satire book, but
Mm-hmm.
it codified all this preppy stuff that was really big in the '80s and probably from the late '70s to early '90s, if you'll know the truth of it. It's not to be confused with yuppies. It's different than yuppies. Yuppies are
Yeah.
something
I
different.
was.
There's
Yeah.
some crossover. But I bought this book because I was going to use it and I have used it as clothes because it's got a lot of here's how you should dress kind of things in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm using it as for wardrobes, not as much as I'd hoped for wardrobes for Heaven's Rejects because the book takes place in the '80s, and I really wanted them to dress like it was in the '80s. I didn't want it. We never came out and said this is the '80s, but I want people to look at it and go, huh, Now I don't think I did that as much as I would like to. Anyway, and I've always thought this book is good, but they have photographs, and I wish they had drawings. They got a few drawings, but they're not very good. But it has photographs of where this is what you should wear. Different brand, what you wear if you're going to the beach, and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Anyway, so I was telling Ellis on my downtime, one of the things I want to do is copy some of this out of here, and it's not coming out super good. I don't think, but anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to give it. So for example, this one is going to be Cyclops, and I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
make like because Cyclops was from the '80s, so it's like the '80s comic book character style in like preppy clothing. I don't know.
Oh,
It's just something I thought would be kind of cool to do tonight. Anyway,
good idea. I used to have a
yeah,
book called what was it called? Fruits. It was a Japanese book of these crazy kids that just almost like challenge themselves to just throw everything up against the wall
I've seen
in
that
terms of
book.
like bright color and everything like that. And it's really cool looking. I mean, the way they do it, they just look like the the world's most well-heeled bums. Basically, it's very much a bum
Speaking of which,
kind of fashion, but it's like so it's so obviously picked off of the racks that it's really cool. You know,
Yeah,
it's just a mishmash of stuff, and they just crowd layers on top of each other, and it's really fun to look at.
I have several books similar to this. Um, that I picked up. Seeing cheap, the clearance racks and stuff. I picked up cheap of different clothing things. And I have a couple
Hmm.
of books on illustration with one of them like an examples, and I have one on how to fashion illustration. Is really good. It's a good drawing book.
Hmm. Oh
Unfortunately,
yeah, I mean, yeah, the gesture for fashion illustration is good stuff. I mean, the guy can,
well, it's got a lot about drawing clothing in it.
yeah,
That
get that.
I probably it's
Which I'm sure there's gesture to drawing clothing as well. I mean, I'm sure there's notations a guy could get a lot from about how to draw good folds and such without getting render heavy and stuff. You know.
oh no. It gets render heavy.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Oh yeah, because with fashion illustration, you want to show the texture. Like if it's like a sweater or something, you want to show that. Oh, this is a sweater and it's a cable knit and it's this and that. That's so it is uh, uh, heavy on the details. You know.
Hmm. I was always under the impression that most fashion was more like a quick note about this and that, and then that they didn't overdo it. That you filled in the blanks in a lot of cases about what you were looking at. But
Well,
maybe your
I
book's different. I don't know. There may be lots of ways to
just because
approach.
it's a book for students,
Uh-huh.
so it may be different than, but
Yeah.
it does focus a lot on textures and
Hmm.
like I mean it's very clothing detailed, on cuts and
Hmm.
fold, draping, and
I'd like to see that.
I wish it were heavier on anatomy. You know,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, I got some. I had I'll send you a link. There's this guy that is the most cut up guy. He looks like he's not quite flayed. He'd be more skin and bones if he was flayed, but you can see every muscle in the guy's body. And because he is constantly putting himself under stress to show you the exercises, all his muscles are always popped out. He's veiny as hell. So he's just perfect reference for anatomy. And
Oh yeah.
as a matter of fact, let's see if I can somehow. Oh, I'll share a screen. See if I can share a screen. See if I can find this picture I captured of him here. See if I kept it out. Do. Muscles, worst ab exercises. Yeah, do a search on YouTube for worst ab exercises, and you'll find. I'll send you the link. Okay, let's see if I can share this window. That should be basic knowledge. Share screen. Don't show me these tips again. I always like that when they. There it is.
Mm.
There it is. Ha. It's gonna be cool. Hey, wait a second. There it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay, now I'll make it full screen. Hey, how come that didn't show up? Oh, I closed it. What an
Grab,
idiot.
grab something and show you what I got. But keep talking. I can hear you. I'm not leaving the room.
Okay. Okay. Let's try again. Keep talking.
Yeah. The crowd warmed up. Ellis,
What's that?
find it. Oh, here it is. I was going to show you this.
Okay.
I bought this the other day off of the place that doesn't sponsor any of my podcasts. Um,
Okay, let me make you big here. Once I figured out how to do that. Oh boy, this is
You made me small.
Yeah,
Now
I
you
did.
made me big. I don't think you can make me big.
Oh, yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. All I have to do is right click on you or click your interaction. Thank you. Finally, I figured it out. Okay, there you go.
I'm small. I'm still small.
It'll
Okay,
catch up to
so
you. Here you go.
okay, I'm watching. Okay, so this is the Marvel Classic sticker book, and it has these stickers. And when I was a kid, I had all these stickers, and it's the classic. And then they got these stupid. I remember I had this one.
Hmm.
It's captions, but I just thought the illustrations were so cool.
Who,
And I got
who are
the
they by?
do what?
Who are they by?
Oh,
Who?
they're not credited.
Oh, okay.
You know, a lot of them look like Bushima. But it's the Marvel bullpen kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But I thought these were so cool. Like I said, when I was a kid, I had them. I stuck them all over my dresser, and and I saw the book and I bought the book. So in 2021, my next sketchbook, I'm probably going to put one of these on. I'm going to put this one on the front of my sketchbook. Support Women's Live with Valkyrie. That's perfect.
Oh, yeah. I have you before you start using those and tearing them out. Have you checked what it's worth on eBay?
No. This is a brand new book. I just bought
Oh,
it.
okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
some. I thought it was something you just discovered. Okay.
No. And so these are from the '60s, and they're
Okay.
square. They're not die cut like the others.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You got some great artists there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it has the corner box art for you know all the way up into the 75-cent era, maybe more, and then it's got the logo.
75 cent era. Yeah.
Yeah, which would have been '90s. Oh, and then the corner box heads for a bunch of stuff. You know. Anyway, I thought it was cool only because I had all these stickers when I was a kid. Not all of them, but I had a bunch of these stickers when I was a kid, and I just think they're great. And I'm a sticker guy, so I picked that up recently.
That's one of those things they always try to roll those out as something you're supposed to be excited about on extras on your Indiegogo campaigns. It's like,
Stickers,
thanks anyway. Keep your sticker.
not a sticker guy.
That's my attitude toward a sticker.
Oh, I always stick them on my sketchbook.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that is a good place for them to end up.
I have a box that I keep here in my studio, just different stickers and stuff that I've collected. I found I'm reading Lord of the Rings. Did I tell you about that? I'm reading Lord of the Rings. I found
Oh yeah. That's a great reading project.
Oh yeah, I told you I found the receipt or not the receipt, but the boarding pass from when I went to Mexico as a kid.
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, we did talk about that last week. That was kind of cool.
I'm about 150 pages into the first book, so I'm trucking right along.
I finished since we last talked. I got a book from the library and finished it. It's called Mike and Smith, but Smith is spelled P. Smith, capital P.
Yeah.
Smith, and this guy he's really affected. He's a kid about 12 or 13. Well, I don't know, or 15. I don't know. He's in an English school system, and he affects a glass monocle, and and he's decided his name shouldn't be the common Smith, and so he's added a P in front of it so he can tell everybody the P is silent. So he's a pretty hilarious character. That's a PG Woodhouse.
Oh,
Great,
okay.
great
Okay.
stuff.
Dude,
And so that's kept me heavy. I started this program being all aggro and everything, but actually I've been pretty happy the entire week I've been reading that. It's had me in a goofy mood the whole time I've been reading it. It's very fun.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
This is the time of year you should be in a good mood.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I just finished it. Now I'm about to start back on the Gates of Fire. I stopped midway through that, which is,
yeah.
that's quite a book to stop in the middle of. It's
Yeah.
like, can I do this? Well, I got this one from the library and I own this one, so I got to read the library one real quick.
Gotcha. Yep.
Another thing I did real quick in terms of like dipping into another book was I've got the audio version of Blood Meridian, and I listened to the first hour of that again. It's like, oh God, this is just so good. So I'll be listening to all that again.
Gotcha.
Have you ever heard Blood Meridian?
I'm trying to think what that is. Was there a movie of that?
It's Cormac McCarthy. Oh, they've tantalized us by claiming they were going to do a movie of it for some time. Tommy Lee Jones wanted to make it as a movie, and
No.
it hadn't got done yet. Let's see if I can share this screen. I want to show you something. Let's see. This time I won't mess up. Ah, there you go. See that? See that guy? This is the guy.
Yeah.
This is the guy I'm talking about. That's on YouTube.
Yeah.
This guy's muscles are insane. You know, I mean, in terms of like popped out in detail. Like for instance, his brachius or whatever you call it between his bicep and his tricep. That never pops out in the kind of delineation that he's got going right there, and that just shows you how I'm trying to indicate with my mouse where I want people's eye to go, and of course it doesn't work like that. Oh, you know what? It might work like that if I put this up in QuickTime and then shared that as the way I'm showing it. Hey, you don't see my mouse right now, do you? Yeah, you do. Look at that. You can't see my mouse as it shows up on. Yeah, look at that. So anyway, yeah, I'm sharing the screen and it's sharing my mouse. So yeah, that little muscle right there. Oh, it doesn't seem to go though. That's interesting.
Your mouse seems drunk.
Oh yeah, it seems like it doesn't quite go. The synchronization isn't right. You know, it doesn't go where I want it to. Anyway, there's that. This guy's channel, I'd link everybody to him, but he's got a whole bunch of exercise videos. His shirt's always off, and you know, he's just cut to pieces. But of course, that's, you know, if you want to learn to draw pleasing figures, you won't emphasize that guy, what he's got going, too much. You'll emphasize the linking together of things the way a cartoonist would with the gesture and the big shapes. When you start noodling all the way a person comes together, you'll concentrate on the least appealing part of the figure. The appealing part of the figure is how we all come together in one big fluid mess, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That Bridgman, what term he used? Blocking? No, wedging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wedging. Yeah. How we all wedge together.
Yeah. Okay, so there's my preppy Cyclops.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I wish I had a fashion book right in front of me. I might do a little of that myself. Actually, I've been planning on doing some studies and haven't gotten around to it. That idea of dropping off and doing a little study of this and that, guy needs it. A little copy in here and there. That's the way you get your brain revved up. Copy somebody.
Yeah, I agree. I
had a little conversation. I bought A History of Violence as a graphic novel. We'll be having that arrive in the mail not too long. I noticed all the reviews of it. There was one guy that just hated the thing. And it sounds like it is absolutely nothing like the movie. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward because Cronenberg didn't even know it was a comic book. He hates comic book movies. He might not have even been able to talk him into it if he'd known it was a comic book at one time. He was just a guy that said, yeah, this looks
Hey, I like this
you
script.
hand somebody a script and say, yeah, intriguing. I also wonder about. I hadn't heard before that he was involved in, and of course, directors will will stick their nose into a script if they don't like or if they feel like they can contribute something. And he apparently did some rewrites. But Josh Olson, who's does a lot of the trailers from Hell,
Yeah.
that was the one that made his reputation. He gained quite a reputation for writing the script to that. So it makes me wonder. It's like, okay, here's the director right there on Internet Movie Database claiming that he's got a little rewrite that went on with it. And so I went to the trailers from Hell. I figured, well, Josh Olson will have one comment because they fairly often will comment on their own movies. Cohen that died recently and a couple others. There's Nasser Rabadi. Beep boop. How you doing there, Nasser? He's been in full mode of promoting his comic book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a pay. What do you call it?
PayPal? No.
No,
Indiegogo.
they Indiegogo. Yeah, but they crowdfund. God, I couldn't think of the term.
Oh, I
Uh,
passed you in subscribers, Ellis.
oh, excellent. Well, yeah, but you're on Facebook and all that. I'm not. I'm also. I
Oh,
suck
hey,
at
hey, hey,
promoting
hey.
myself.
Don't talk down my success.
Yeah. I was going to ask you how your channel's doing, and I forgot to do it.
I'm up to this morning. I was up to 139 subscribers.
Hey, that's pretty
So,
good.
so considering I'm not doing much,
Next
it
stop,
ain't.
1,000. Yeah, yeah. No,
But
it
I know
doesn't. You do some nice stuff and tag it right.
that.
Kapow.
Yeah, you got to work it. That's the problem with all this stuff. Is it
Well,
you got
and
to work?
and then there's this guy that I follow on that has a little musical talent that did this song. What is his name? Rusty Cage. Rusty Cage, and he did a little song called the Knife Song,
The knife song.
which which while he had his hand like this, and
Yeah. Was he
and
doing
then
the?
just had a knife and was doing that stuff all through the song to
Oh,
a very cute little tune, and that went so viral that he instantly now has got. That's the thing. People usually, unless you just do something to piss them off, they're not going to unsubscribe to you. So you can,
yeah.
if you get all of the subscriptions, that's nice for later on, getting that AdSense money, I guess. I know nothing about it because I've never had anything so big that I could get something like AdSense money. But I assume some people are able to live off of it.
Oh my gosh. There's a guy that plays video games that I watch,
Oh, yeah,
and one
like, yeah,
he
PewDiePie,
was him going and buying a new Lamborghini. He was picking up a new Lamborghini.
Yeah,
And
sure. I mean,
the guy was
and I,
giving him a test drive. Here's how you do this kind of, and not kill yourself in your brand new exotic car.
in your
And
in your supercar.
the guy asked him, what do you do? And he goes, oh, I have a YouTube channel. He goes, oh, really? How long have you done that? And the guy said, and he says, well, I've been doing it for like 16 months. He says, what did you do before that? And he goes, oh, 2 years ago I worked at Walmart.
Yeah,
So it's like, okay, well, good for you. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I
so
mean,
yeah,
catch fire, man. That's all. That's all the world asks from you is catch fire at something.
yeah, yeah.
I say that as a guy that puts about
Yeah. So
an
you
ounce of effort into every day.
do what?
I put about an ounce of effort into every passing day. There's a guy that is gives one of the great talks on time management that I wish I should find the link for it and put it in our stuff down below. But I think he had something to do with Pixar. But the guy was dying. He was so upbeat and everything. But here he walks up and within the first 5 minutes of his speech, he wants you to know exactly how he's dying and
By the way,
about how long he's got. And then he talks about how his whole life has he's been good at time management,
oh,
and
that's
how his life has hardly been affected by the fact that he had kids and everything, but he just talked about life in general, and life is time. And I probably ought to start the day every day watching it. It's like, okay, yeah. It's just like that book of the War of Art.
oh
That
yeah,
sort of thing. That you should be run. You notice how long I spent saying that. I wanted to make sure I had it right. But that sort of thinking, you know, should inform what you do. You know,
memento mori.
yeah, you've got X amount of hours in your
Yep,
life. Use them
yep. That is true.
like Nasser.
We,
He's probably
we
already left. He's probably just blitzed in and showed up in the comments and split.
what? Why would you think that? I wouldn't
Well,
think that.
because that's what I do. That's just typically what I do when I'm on somebody's or when I bother to look at
I
somebody's
I
content.
that people are that watch are as I would call them regulars. They're watching, but they're probably. I mean, they've said they do it. They're drawing
Yeah, yeah,
or doing.
yeah. That's a good way to use this kind of material, just as background noise.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate
Oh,
it.
Nasser's still here.
See, I
Yeah.
told you why I think that. You
Hmm.
know, your negative is your problem, Ellis. I think.
Well, yeah, I've been negative for quite a while, and it does affect life. You need to be the optimist. It attracts. It's an attractive force. If you want to be the
Yes.
guy that everybody wants to be around, you're going to be the positive one.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, upbeat and personable is attracted to a lot of people.
Yeah,
Even,
you can't be down on yourself. You can't have a whole lot of negative running through your head about yourself. You have to be pretty high on yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think so. I don't know. I know C.B. Cebulski, who's the editor in chief of Marvel Comics. I swear the only claim that he really has to get him the job that he has is I'm convinced it's because he's just personable and people like him.
Oh, it really is one of the main things. Even though these guys that also, I knew a guy named Bob that I worked with at Heavy Iron doing video games. That was a guy I sat in a room with and did modeling with. And that guy, he had the goods. He could whip something out in just no time. That was just a great little model, and it would have all sorts of appeal to it, which is tough to put into something that's made out of triangles and
Yeah,
squares, and to have a limited polygon count and all that. And he would do it and act like it was just the easiest thing in the world to do. And but at the same time, he was also very personable. He had a beard. He's kind of like a Jack Black type of character, and you know, it was just a joy to be around him, and people really liked him.
Yep. Yep. In fact, I would say to anyone that is working in any career, that kind of thing will probably help you with your
Oh,
career. Maybe not overall,
100% more than just about anything. Yeah.
yeah, but other than maybe just raw ability at whatever the job is, because
Yeah.
you look,
I mean, raw ability will get people to knife you in the back. They'll be envious of you versus being someone that's you know, everybody likes. They won't
yeah,
knife you. They'll stand up for you.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You want to be the guy that people will, you know,
Hmm.
look to as a somebody they want to be around or whatever.
This is all you know, office sitcom stuff. You know, it's like, yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
the way
hey,
things work in office.
politics are my life anyway. That's all I do. I got cussed out by somebody yesterday at work.
Oh,
No,
you
they.
did?
Oh yeah, somebody didn't. Why'd you do that? Why the blank did you do that? You don't know what the f you're doing. I go, well, this is what I think. And crazy thing was, we emailed the guy that I don't want to go into too much detail about the thing, but we emailed the person, and I was completely right.
Yeah, those you know that sort of thing is
Don't be the
tough. Well, I mean, I was ready again. I'm one of those guys that gets mad at somebody, and I'm ready to explode before uh, I let it out and tell somebody what I think. And
yeah.
uh, and I was at that stupid Avis job, and the guy I was showing up with and working with every day. Oh God, I was ready to fight that guy. Whether or not I could last
Which
2 seconds with him or not, it wouldn't matter to me. I wanted to really just get
which
into
job?
a primal fight with that guy. Oh, it was Avis parking cars out at
Oh
the airport.
yeah,
Not parking cars. Well, he hated me too. Was the part is the deal? It was one of those energy things, which you apparently don't have. You don't let it simmer like I did. He
no,
hated me, and so I hated him, and there was no escape
I don't.
valve.
You know what the thing is. I don't let people. No one has that much control over me.
Well, that's the
My
deal. They do have control over it. If you hate somebody, you're
oh,
wasting
absolutely.
a whole lot of energy. Yeah,
No one gets in my head that much. Especially a guy that probably in 3 months I'm gonna be his boss.
yeah.
I mean, you know, and I know this guy. I worked with this guy not directly, but for years. These 20, 30 years. I know he's this way, and he was just upset, but he was wrong. So hey,
Hmm.
uh, that doesn't bother me. His little temper tantrum. He still had to do it, or the result was what I said, not what he said. So you know,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah, I
the
guess.
the problem is he was second guessing my boss, and my boss and other people have said that I think like him, and they said it's scary how much I think like him
Hmm.
in a lot of ways. Which because
How
he's
much you
kind
think like the boss or think like the guy that cussed you out?
of the boss. How much,
Okay.
it's just, but a lot of what he says is, I mean, I worked under him for a long time, and
Oh, you're talking about the guy that went to like Florida, right?
no, the guy that's his boss, that was his
Okay.
boss, and is now my current boss, and I just know how he's going to think about stuff. And I can look at a situation and go, he's not going to agree with that, you know. And that's what this situation was. He's like,
Oh, so
well,
you were telling him how that's not going to work. And
Yeah.
he was,
Yeah. Basically.
he had cognitive dissonance on what you were saying as reality. You had two different movies going. You can tell who I listen to all the time. I listen to Scott Adams, so I've got his nomenclature for how to think. He drives me crazy. You talk about people that have success at YouTube. He's got
Yeah.
huge success, but about for half of any one of his shows, I wonder, why do I listen to this guy? he drives me a little bit crazy. Let's see if I've got
Yeah.
any other things I could show off here.
Right.
This share the screen thing. Some big jerk. Hey, I was looking at your stuff, Gene. He's got a cool, clean comic style. He must have had 40 pages on the floor of a comic book he's got coming out. And, I was blowing it up. I right clicked the JPEG and had a
Copied
look
it.
at it. Yeah. It's a really cool style. It kind of reminds me of a lot of the. I could see. He's probably had some animators background or something like that. He's got a really on model kind of fun, pleasing style.
Oh, that's cool.
What's the name of your comic book going to be there, Gene? We got him called some big jerk here, but his name is Gene Hole, I guess. I don't think there's any other way to spell HOLE. Maybe there is. Let's do the French pronunciation for HOLE. Ole.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't either. Yeah, you're welcome. No. Great work. I will fill up another page full of little things. Yeah, a name you can dig. Yep, it's Hole. A name you can dig. That's right. Did you ever see that? Did you ever see that show that was? It had a rep that preceded it, where some nefarious people were making all the kids at this camp dig holes.
Well, yeah, Hole.
Yeah, I guess it's just called Holes or something.
Never saw it. I heard it's based off a kid's book. David Nelson went and saw it with his son. It's literally all I know about it. I think it's a Disney.
Yeah, but it had quite a rep, I thought. But then I finally saw it, and it's like, yeah, this is pretty good. But it was like, the comic is a web comic I left dormant for like 6 years called Wednesdays. Yeah, so yeah, that's interesting. You talk about leaving things dormant. It was meant to be. Don't ever kick yourself too much for letting something idle for a while. It's going to come out the way it comes out, and probably the gestation period is going to be good for it.
I don't let yourself off the hook too easy, though.
Well, I'm in the Charles Bukowski camp. He said, "Don't ever sweat that. Just get to it. Do the work." Yeah, but
you can't beat yourself up over the past, but on the same time, don't be lazy.
Yeah.
That's says the guy that's been bum idle for several weeks.
You feel like you've been bum idle.
Oh yeah. I'm not working on a comic book.
Oh yeah. Well, the only way you should be working is on your own property. That's the only way a guy ought to be doing things, unless he's got some writer he just loves to work with.
Oh, I
like I'm really thankful that we talked about Corbin dying last week. I'm really thankful he hooked up with that Stern ad so much, because I really loved his writing. The things they did together were awesome. I got you. Wednesday, yeah, it was that would be a good discipline, and that would get you back to a regular discipline, saying it's almost Wednesday. You'd always have that in the back of your head that some discipline you had to do. It's called a deadline. Is what it's called.
Yeah.
You have to get back to. You have to say, I've got to feed that. Here it comes.
Oh gosh!
Let me find a couple hours. Do the work.
Doing a comic strip would be like that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess you could work ahead maybe, but geez.
Think about how that whole. I've got How to Murder Your Wife as one of my Amazon Prime things,
Okay.
and of course that's a Jack Lemmon thing about a syndicated cartoonist that's so successful. He's got a townhouse right in the middle of Manhattan, and he goes out and he reenacts and does photo shoots of all his little adventure strips before he
did you do Kirby thing?
What's that? Yeah. As a matter of fact, I wonder who the ghost artist was on those. It was a very good artist. I could look it up. Rip Kirby, or whatever.
Well,
it did look like Rip Kirby. How to Murder Your Wife. Let me have a.
I was thinking Wally Wood worked at it.
No.
That's not right. That's not right.
I think it looked more like an Alex Raymond, but I don't think he was alive at the time. Of course, this is way back.
He died in the 50s, didn't he?
50s?
Wasn't Raymond killed in the 50s?
Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look that up now. See, we keep on this trivia. What should I know about this? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Well, here we go. The comic strip art in the film was done by Mel Kiefer, the artist on Perry Mason, Mac Divitt, and Rick O'Shea.
Oh, I've got a Perry Mason book.
In addition, Alex Toth drew a comic strip of the characters as part of a teaser campaign to promote the film. But the art in the film is a guy named Mel Kiefer.
Well, see, I was thinking that I read somewhere that Alex Toth was mad because they didn't pay him enough or something.
Or
something like that. That
apparently he was involved as an animator in quite a few things you're familiar with. Johnny Quest.
Oh yeah.
And a few other things. He probably ran into Toth quite a bit. Toth. How would you pronounce that?
It's Toth.
Toth. Definitely, right?
Well, that's what Barry says, and Barry's met him.
Oh, Barry. Okay. Yeah.
So, you got differ. That's what you differ.
Well, all this required to me is I remember that. I'll ask that same question again next week.
I'll say different.
Don't tell me different. I need to memorize the right one. I'm having fun. I'm drawing a bunch of little poses here. I'm warming up. I may be on Drawn and Quartered. The theme on Drawn and Quartered is just Christmas. So anything I wanted to do, I guess.
Oh.
See, I wanted to say something else about something I was reading. I can't think of what it is.
Oh, yeah.
What's the you got so moved by Lord of the Rings, you sent a quote out to us.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of very inspirational stuff in Lord of the Rings.
Oh gosh, it's amazing.
Page after.
I've been listening to the Harry Potter books just at work, just in between stuff, and I didn't grow up reading that. That was after
I didn't either. Yeah,
but I mean, it's light fantasy, but it's you watch or you listen to that, and then you read Lord of the Rings, and you just go, these kids at this school are so self-centered because you see, I read the other night, and I'm gonna paraphrase it because I'm quoting it, but Frodo is talking about the ring, and Gandalf is telling him, you've got to just, he's telling him this ring, it's the ring of power, and it's here in the Shire, and Sauron is revived, and he's coming for this ring, and he knows, and he's gonna destroy the Shire and the Hobbit town, burn down all your houses and kill everybody you know. And Frodo is like, I don't want this. There are many men that are more capable of this than me, and more skilled and braver than me. And Gandalf tells us something along the lines of, it didn't fall on them, it fell on you. So
Yep.
you're the one that has to do it,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like so cool,
Yeah.
And then Harry Potter's like, oh, Harry, and I'm like, okay, Oh,
Yeah,
Harry.
yeah, it would be a different
I
one.
mean,
Of course, I've never. Of course, I've seen the movies though, so I've got an idea of what goes on in the books. I assume they wouldn't want to disappoint the readers too much. They probably tried to deliver a bit of that's going on.
you talking Harry Potter books?
Yeah, the Harry Potter. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're okay for what they are, but this is. I talked about this on the podcast. These are we're living through a pandemic. We're living through riots and unrest and a contentious election. These are the times when you need high fantasy
Some good escapism. Yeah.
more like inspiration, more like just
Mm-hmm.
just to me, it's just a good time to take in this just this inspiring, because I don't know, something bigger than just oh, Harry, you know
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm about 150 pages in the first book.
Well, what's your
Really,
biggest? Natasha International. I tried to catch you guys in time. Uh,
you did.
well, you missed us because we're almost done. Okay.
Good.
My biggest moment in the film Lord of the Rings was in terms of like thinking the character that got against it the most, that inspired me the most, that my you could say your heart took flight, is when, and apparently it's not even in the book, is like when Frodo is sick, and the little elf is like running ahead of those ring wraiths. I thought, whoa, man, that's cool. She's not going to make it, but it sure is inspiring that she's trying. And I guess, and of course, she made it. I need to watch those movies again someday.
You need to read the book. I need to find that third copy of the books I have and lend it or give it to you.
Sure. Someday we were talking about someone was going to loan me a movie in our little group, and it's like someday maybe we'll have contact again where something gets handed off.
Yeah. So, have you looked into getting the vaccine?
I have zero interest in that vaccine. That will be being given out 2 years before I allow myself to take that vaccine. It's nonsense. It supposedly deals with like some sort of new strategy. They're working with RNA and crap like that. And what it is they're tweaking your immune system with a dead, it's basic vaccine stuff, but it doesn't work for rhinoviruses, or not. It doesn't work for coronaviruses. It's a cold virus. It's not a flu virus. That apparently works on flu viruses. It doesn't work on coronaviruses. And until someone actually gives me a Dr. Drew kind of sensibility about it, I won't get close to that thing. Are you going to try to take it?
I don't think we on the podcast that Barry ran this thing on the online that tells you what group you're in based on where you live and what you do and how old you are and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dave is like in group number 2 because he is a nurse.
Oh yeah, sure.
Barry says that he's in number 9, but I'm not sure where he gets that. I think he said because he's an essential worker, but he's working from home. So why that would? Yeah, but
he's got an association with the tribes. Maybe that's it.
Well, maybe a tribal thing. He didn't say that though. He said because he's an essential worker. Like I said, he's worked from home for a while though, so I'm not sure how that would play into it. But anyway, I'm group number 94, I think. So I don't think
you don't have to worry about being forced to do it. They're denying it to you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I told my wife. I said you watch the groups of people that want to jump in front of the line, and those are the people you should not trust, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't think I'll end up taking it, Ellis, because I think by the time it's offered to me, everyone else on the planet will have taken the vaccine, and it'll either work, and it'll be eradicated, or it won't work, and I won't need to take it.
There's never been anything like this that ever goes away. It's going to always be here.
Well, it's the new one.
It's not like polio or anything. It's a cold virus. It will always be in our mix now. It's always going to be something you can catch. Oh well. I don't understand why it's cognitive dissonance on my part. I just don't get it. It seems plain as day to me about the facts on it, but and the reality of it. Yeah, that's it. That's my reality, that I see this as something that they're just basically trying to, like, supposedly the reason they won't tell you aliens actually exist, that they'd cause a panic. I get the feeling that there's some sort of like dumb thinking that's kind of in the same camp here. It's like, don't tell me something stupid if it doesn't exist. Don't tell me you can end this if it's the first time you've ever ended anything like that. Tell me that consistent with reality, there's a very good chance that it will never go away. That's all you have to tell me. I don't have to. I'm not going to walk around hang dog thinking, about getting sick.
Oh my gosh, I don't get to live forever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like just lay it on us.
Let me. I know we're at the end of our show, but let me say this. I think that a lot of this panic has to do with a lot of our population's inability to come to grips with the idea that one day they will expire and they will be dead and they will no longer walk on this planet. And I think there's a spiritual aspect to that I won't get into, but I think a lot of people are up in a panic. It's just like I was on Instagram and there was a guy who was saying something about something or another about. And somebody gets on and they're like, well, hey, nobody's oppressing you. You just need to stay home and do that. And my response was, look, dude, if you're afraid, stay home. If you're about it, you stay home. Don't tell other people what to do. But and that's why we've gotten to this, oh my gosh, everyone's got to stay home and do this and do that. It's because most people cannot wrap their brain or are unwilling to accept the idea that one day they will die. And it will happen to all of us. And, they're not prepared to admit that to themselves.
Yep. That's true. I, my heart gives a little lub dub here every now and then, and I think, that thing could stop. And it's like, hey, I'm aware of it. It's like, and it doesn't frighten me. It's just something that, like you
Well,
say, people, if they
well,
don't know it, they ought to.
and like I said, I think there's a spiritual aspect to this that people deny that maybe they should look into or think about.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
No, and it's a good 2 cents. Hey, I'm drawing a lion right now, and I was watching an old serial that had a tame lion kind of walk through a scene, and I
Yeah,
noticed, so much of our attempts at anthropomorphizing, putting the anatomy that we know exists, like saying, oh yeah, a big cat, it's going to have lats.
yeah, yeah.
And yes, it does have lats, and you can see the line of the lats. But you know what? It doesn't move in a way that it's more like it's nailed down, almost like a tattoo. And you'll see that in animals. It's like, yeah, they've got your anatomy, but it's just like maybe it's just treating itself a little differently. It's not quite your anatomy, so
Well,
you'd have to do a really good study. What's that?
they have your anatomy. They don't have your skeleton.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have your
You know,
skeleton.
and
So
the
many.
muscles are there, but the insertion points and the way that the bones are hinged is
Yeah,
different,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
makes the movement different, and so it's all different.
yeah. It's all
Anyway,
different.
well, hey, dude, are you ready to call it a?
I'm ready to call it night. Get a last cup of coffee. Hey,
Like,
thanks for coming by, everybody that dropped in. We'll talk to you later. Ending broadcast. You want to say anything, Scott? You said quite a bit.
well, let me just say, I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
I know it's different because everyone is challenged on who they can go see and that sort of thing. And I would just say, be smart about what you're going to do, and have a Merry Christmas. It's not about shopping and presents and all that stuff. It's there's a lot more to it,
yep,
and
yep.
I hope you have a good one.
Okay.